All right, let's jump into Affinity Designer and start creating activity books. But before we do that, let's get an idea of what it is we're actually creating. Over at Amazon, activity books for kids ages 4 to 8. Take a look at all these great books. The idea here is not to focus in on the competition at this point. We're just getting an idea that the fact that these books sell, these books are popular, and these are the types of things that we can create. Another example, kids travel activities for car trip. Take a look at some of these books. The idea here is that you create simple activities for kids to do other than most likely be on their phone or their iPad. And to do that, again, we're just taking a look to get some inspiration. Here is a cool one right here. Road trip activities and travel games for kids 8 to 12. Word scrambles, word search, cryptogram, mazes, and more. Take a look inside. Simply scroll down here, take a look at what they've added, but we're focused in on the games themselves. And here's an example of one of the simple games. And with that, we'll take a look at the rest of these. You can see some tic-tac-toe, a maze, word searches, cryptograms, and some word scrambles here. All good ideas. But back to the idea that when we're in Affinity Designer and we're staring at a blank canvas or a blank screen, where and how do we start? So let's hop into Tangent Templates and take a look and see what they got for us. So we can get started with something here to both start simple with activities and games that we can create books from, as well as starting simple with Affinity Designer. Paper games. Here you can see all kinds of different paper games to include a tic-tac-toe we saw, but I'm going to start off with this hangman design right here. I'm going to click on hangman. I'm going to go ahead and go 8.5 by 11, and I'm just going to go page 1 count, and I'm going to download that interior. That interior is going to download there as a PDF. I'm going to go back to Affinity Designer, open, and here's our hangman page. We'll go ahead and just open that, and it's going to open up our hangman page right there. And then we are simply just going to start with selecting the things. Now, we may not want a hangman, because like I said over at Tangent Templates, if you read here, hangman is a classic game. But be aware that some people do not enjoy the visual imagery of hangman. If you enjoy creating your own interiors, you can make other simple diagrams such as snowman, fruits, trees, or cars. Gives us a great starting point, and what we'll do is we will simply delete everything that you see there. And then what we're going to do here is learn a simple piece of Affinity Designer that I think is really cool. So we're going to come down here, click on the frame text tool. Then we're going to drop in a text box right there, and we're going to type the number. Of course, you can see there it dropped in a 1 at 12 point. We're going to go ahead and highlight that. We're going to come down here, and we are going to make that a little bit bigger or a whole lot bigger, and then we'll have a play around with it. But the idea here is at this point, we're going to highlight this, and we're going to learn a new feature, and that is stroke. Here we can come to stroke, and what we can do is we can select a dash line, and then we can change that dash to 2 by 2, hit enter, and what you're going to see here is now you have a dashed or dotted line, and now we need to come back to the color, and here what we'll do is we'll select the color, come down to hex, make it white, close that. Now you can see we have a dotted line or what could be traced. So the idea of hangman is you get 6 guesses from the original hangman that we downloaded, the template from Tangent Templates. You get 6 guesses. You circle the head, 1, the body, 2, the arms, 3, 4, the legs, 5, 6. You get 6 guesses to figure out the word before the hangman is complete. Again, back to the imagery of the hangman. At this point, what we're doing is we're changing the imagery of the hangman, and we're just coming up with a new game, and we're going to say 1. Then we're going to select the arrow tool, the selection tool. We're going to highlight that, going to hit option, drag it over. It's going to create a new one, which is essentially the same thing as command or control C and control V, where we copy and paste and we have a new image or a new letter, and then you simply just change it. We'll change that to 3, we'll change that to 2, and in this case we'll just keep this simple. Come back, selection tool, and we'll say you get 3 guesses, and you have 1, 2, 3 guesses. They could either be colored in and or they could be traced. And of course, you go back to the stroke. You can also change this, see the width here. So you could make this a little darker to make it so it's better seen. That's 2.5. Of course, if we were to select the 3, you could take it up even further. That's 6 point. as far as the width or the font. And then of course, if you wanted to, you could change these down here as well. You could bring those up to make it all look the same as far as the letters, the numbers, the tracing. But the idea here is you've created an activity where they get 3 guesses. They can either trace this in and or color this in. Lots of different options here, but they get 1, 2, 3 guesses. And of course, you would take that and you would say, okay, I'm happy with that. File, export, export it as a PDF, export, set your file name, save that, it downloads. Then back inside of Tangent Templates, and I'm going to show you a cool feature that I learned here. In this video here, getting started with Affinity Designer for KDP low content books, I asked everyone here on the channel and the community what they know about and what they feel like they would share as I'm learning and playing with Affinity Designer. And there were lots of great tips and tricks in here, as you can see from everyone that chimed in, to include the thing I'm about to show you inside of Tangent Templates, the Tangent Builder, so you don't have to go to Canva. You can duplicate PDFs very quickly. Go inside of Tangent Templates, go under Tangent Builder, go ahead and upload the PDF that we just created, upload a PDF. That PDF right here, go ahead and upload that into the Tangent Template Builder. Select it, and then you see here now that page. All you have to do to duplicate that is simply click Duplicate Page, and it will duplicate the page. And you can also click on one of these, and you could select another template. For example, if you wanted some hexagon paper, or if you wanted to create an additional activity in your activity book, you could come down here and you could easily grab one of these comic storyboard books and simply just add that in right there, and that could become whatever you want. And at that point, you just simply come over here, download your PDF. That downloads the PDF that will open here. And you can see right there, now that we've created our hangman game, or our 1, 2, 3 guess the word game, or whatever you want to call it, create your own thing, as well as a storyboard that we got from Tangent Templates. And that is the quick tip here inside of Affinity Designer using Tangent Templates. And the thing that we learned today is the stroke option for making these types of letters. Of course, making dashes or trace images, which add a pretty unique element, in my opinion, when you're over at Amazon and you're looking at activity books for kids. Of course, activity books for kids ages 4 to 8, 9 to 12, 7 to 9, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 4, 2 to 4, 8 to 10, 8 to 12, 10 to 12, tons and tons of options when you dig in and start doing your research. If this video is helpful, give the video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Type right here in the middle of the screen. Another video here on Affinity Designer and Tangent Templates. Click it, watch it. I'll see you there, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.